On the eve of 20 years since the events of September 11th, 2001, the Escape Podcast would like to take a moment to remember the lives lost in the U.S. and abroad, directly and indirectly, since that day in response. Please join me in a moment of silence and reflection.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast,
Lord Vader arrives to the holotables,
along with some controversial kit and AI changes.
We will go over the kit itself in our first segment.
And then in our second segment, we consider quitting Galaxy of Heroes.
A very dear Padawan sent us their thoughts as they hit the uninstall button.
We will share the love lost letter, as I call it, and talk about it.
In our incoming transmission, one of our favorite midday streamers spends their evening with us.
Seandwe, or is it S.E. and we? Well, they are our guest in our incoming transmission.
A GAC streamer and coffee aficionado.
Of course, your chance to catch up on the latest Helly and the Noob.
And Patron's Choice on the Bridge.
It's always fun to answer those off-the-wall questions.
All this and breaking news, as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of the Escape Podcast, and I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero-like partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you doing?
Thank God it's Friday. That's all I have to say. I said that last week, and I say it again. I'm glad that it's Friday. I'm excited that I'm here with you, Neil, as we do every single Friday on the show. What about you? How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Ducking and diving. I mean, we got a hype train going. Oh, wow. We just hit the, what was that? Was that level 3?
No, we're into level 3.
We're into level 3.
So
get your biddies out.
Yeah, let's shout these out. JJ Manners, Dr. Feelgood, Dickie Darkside, all subscribed. JJ gave out a sub. JJ Manners gave out 2 subs after that. He's also cheered bits. Helenix has cheered bits. Thank you all for making this happen. All completing these hype trains and subscriptions to the Twitch channel while we're recording. It goes a long way. It really goes a long way. And it's also September, which means if you are watching and you are a donator, gifting out subs is cheaper right now. So thank you to all of you guys for making this happen.
Yes. And Zaz, I'm not going to go on, and there will be no Nev rage over GK. Why would I care about GK? I don't have him, and I don't face him. So why would I get bent out of shape about what GK can or cannot do? I mean, I feel a lot of empathy towards all of those people that have Slacker and no GK because, now that Slacker's useless, which, sucks. Like, really, really sucks. So I'm glad I never went for Slacker, but I never went for Slacker. I went for JML. So
I'm still glad I went for Slacker because of his usefulness in raids and in territory battles. The PvE portions, as always, I love.
Yeah. Well, it's not a character I'm ever going to go for, and now there's no point in going for them. Great, maybe good for PvP, but sorry, PvE, but as far as PvP goes, he sucks because it's all of the newer GLs that he could counter with various different cheese in them can't counter that GL anymore. So it's like, what's the point? What is the point? Go for GK or go for JMK or go for Lord Vader or go home, basically. So yeah. So I'm not going to get angry over something like that. There's no point in me getting angry over something like that.
There are a lot of people that did go home, and we're going to be talking about that in our second segment. But for the first segment, let's get to the big news. Operation Metaverse got to put it out there first. Congratulations to Gom and T Money, as always. Mm-hmm. Wonderful friends of the show. But let's start with the basic, and then we'll come back around to his ultimate. His basic is deal physical damage. And if he has 30 or more stacks of underestimated, he deals damage again. He two taps. Each time the ability deals damage in the same attack, it deals 25% more damage. So how can it attack 3 times? It's called Vindictive Storm. Does that name?
No.
It means nothing to me.
It means nothing. None of the names for any of these abilities mean anything. They memed hard on GK, and everybody loved CG and appreciated the fact that they memed very, very hard with GK. They've done no such thing with Lord Vader, and they've just come up with a bunch of rant. I'm reading the names, and where's the fun? Where's the fun? There's no fun in it. It's like, here's something really, really strong and OP. Go kill everything with it.
Yeah. Dark Harbinger, his first special, inflicts buff immunity and healing immunity for 2 turns, does the physical damage, and does 20% more physical damage on subsequent uses, stacking up to 5 times. And then he gains 1% ultimate charge, and Empire and Dark Side unaligned force users, or the Dark Side UFUs, recover 0.5% health for each stack of underestimated. Unshackled Emotions is the second one. The first one had a cooldown of 3. Cooldown of 5. Unshackled Emotions. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict daze and 4 dots. 4 damage over time for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. For each stack of underestimated, it deals 2.5% more damage, and all dark side allies gain 1% mastery stacking until the end of the encounter. Here is where they start to get into the memeing of it. My new empire. There's something that he said.
Yeah.
Its final text: dark side allies have plus 20, not 20%, 20 speed, 20% extra mastery, and 15% max health. Doubled for Empire or Dark Side UFUs. At the start of battle, other Empire and Dark Side UFU allies lose all protection and gain that much max health. So all of a sudden they become Malik. If a Dark Side UFU ally was present at the start, for the rest of the battle, all Dark Side UFUs and Empire allies take 30% reduced damage from enemy light side UFUs. If all allies are dark side at the start of the battle, Empire and dark side ooze are immune to fear. Empire tanks gain taunt for 2 turns, and when an Empire ally loses taunt, they're inflicted with mark. So they become essentially, they're taunting again. When any dark side ally loses a buff, the Empire and Dark Ooze gain 1% mastery until the end of the encounter. Whenever a debuffed dark side ally takes damage, Lord Vader gains 2% ultimate charge, increased to 3 if they were unaligned force user. Not even dark side or light side, just unaligned overall.
Mm-hmm.
When Empire and dark side unaligned force users, UFUs, are at certain health thresholds, they gain benefits. So while they're above 35%, when they're during an enemy's attack, they're immune to max health reduction. When they're above 50% health, they're also immune to damage over time and thermals. And while they're below 80% health, they can't be critically hit. There is the trick with why he's going to be good with Maul.
Yeah.
Because Maul's going to be losing that health. So, unique twisted prophecy. He's immune to turn meter manipulation, can't be evaded. He's a galactic legend.
Yeah.
At the start of battle, he loses all protection, so he becomes Malik. And the dark side and unaligned force user dark side guys get speed up and stealth for 2 turns. At the start of each of Vader's turns, enemies are inflicted with damage over time effects. So he essentially has caustic emissions on him.
Pretty much, yeah.
From Conquest. And enemies with damage over time effects can't gain bonus turn meter. This is way overpowered.
Oh well, yeah, but we knew that was gonna occur. We knew that there was going to be a huge amount of power creep with this character because he was so bloody expensive. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this. None of it. Not surprised by one shred of this. Yeah, I'm not surprised by any of it. So if you've got the money, if you've got the time, if you've got the wallet, and you can get this, crack on. This is not like Kenobi. This is not like JMK, where things got dripped out a lot slower. People were able to really prepare. And, there were lots of characters that people already had heavily relicked because they used them in light side GOTB, whereas with Lord Vader, people had to do a lot more relicking, and obviously there were some characters in there that people really had to spend on and use a lot of resources on. Tusken, perfect example, bounty hunters. Completely different from JMK, and then obviously the relicates in there. Everybody knew that was going to happen with this character. And what do you think is going to be the first thing that gets Relic 9 when Relic 9 gets released?
Yeah.
I mean,
if they have him,
it's, and the reason why the Relic 9 will come before Maul is available. So everybody that's gone, balls to the wall with Lord Vader is going to put Relic 9 on him to make him tougher. So that, he is good and strong while those players wait for Maul to become available. And then who do you think people's next Relic 9 is going to be? It's going to be Maul. I mean, don't get me wrong, there will be people that haven't gone for Vader, that will simply Relic 9 Commander Tano and Relic 9 JMK. Whether those two characters in a light side squad will be able to compete or even be comparable to Lord Vader with Maul, I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening. The meta is going to get very stale very quickly. We had rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Now it's just thermonuclear war.
Now it's just global thermonuclear war.
Would you like to play a game? Hopefully you have a wallet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Now we're not done with this Twisted Prophecy unique either, Neil.
Mm-hmm. Keep going, then.
At the start of Lord Vader's turn, he gains 1 stack of underestimated, double for any Jedi or Galactic Republic enemies. It's stupid, in my opinion. It's crazy stupid in this situation. So
can you imagine,
going back to his ultimate, you have to have 65% ultimate charge. So it's like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Vader gains ultimate charge when he uses Dark Harbinger, and when debuffed, dark side allies receive damage. He gains 2% ultimate charge, increased to 3% if they were an unaligned Force user. Lord Vader gains 50% of other Dark allies' current mastery until the end of the encounter, and they lose that much. Empire and Dark Side unaligned Force user allies don't lose mastery from this ability. At 100% ultimate, instead he gains 75% mastery from this ability using the instead of 50%, dispels all debuffs, takes a bonus turn, reduces his cooldowns by 1, gains Ashes of the Republic, which then that other Lord Vader's allies gain additional effects. Enemies defeated by this while this is active can't be revived. He's immune to ability block, healing immunity, and shock, and can't gain ultimate charge. So you can fire it off early, but if you fire it at max, he no longer gains any ultimate charge.
Mm-hmm.
Ashes of the Republic, when he uses his basic, then he deals 100%, 125%. Then that's when he gets that third attack of a max 50% attack on somebody. Dark Harbinger, Ashes of the Republic will now make it deal true damage. His Unshackled Emotions inflicts ability block for 1 turn that can't be dispelled or resisted, and increases enemies' cooldowns for 2 turns. So they slightly memed him with only 2 of the things: My New Empire and his stack of underestimated. You underestimate my power.
Yeah. A little bit.
Bodhi says, is there a data disk called Understand Kit so I can decipher this damn wall of text?
Yeah. You need a degree to understand some of this stuff.
But Neil, that's not all. We got the kit the same day that he was released. Okay.
Yeah. That was super fast, like really, really fast.
So we didn't have time to theory craft. The people haven't had time to theory craft. But get this. Not only did we get him, we also got changes to Royal Guard.
Mm.
It now 100% chance stuns. It no longer has a 25% chance to gain 35% turn meter, but it his special now gains heal over time for 2 turns, and Empire allies gain health up and retribution for 2 turns, and then Royal Guard taunts.
Yeah, his Zeta is pretty good as well.
And here comes the Zeta. At the start of the encounter, really, if the allied leader is Empire, Royal Guard gains max health equal to 5% of the allied leader's max health, and then doubles his health until the end of the encounter.
Yeah. I will. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go too OP on the Royal Guard, but he's crew, so I'm really content. I don't care about the Lord Vader part, but the having him with Vader for a Vader solo, so you can do a duo. I think it's Vader in the lead with the Royal Guard, the OG Vader,
the original Darth Vader that we got, not Lord Vader.
No, Darth Vader with a tricked out Royal Guard. Buff. All health basically. You just want to max out their health. So a fast, very very. All health mods, I'm going to go all health mods, all health primaries, and I'm going to try and crank his speed up as much as physically possible so that you can get the taunt off straight away and see how quickly you can get a... Because if you can crank him up to 100,000 health, he's going to go into battle with 200k in health. And with defense... with people not being able to, just crack through defense the way that they used to be able to, he could do a lot of, he's not going to do a lot of damage. Every now and then getting a cheeky stun is going to be very, very useful, but, you can go in against a 5-man team or a 3-man team in GAC, and no one's going to be able to touch Vader if your Royal Guard's fast enough. So, that's the only positive I can take away from this, because Lord Vader is not something that, as much as I really, really, really wanted to go for him, and I said that I was going to go for him, I don't see the point. I really don't see the point. This is the beginning of a new era of massive power creep. Massive power creep. The next 2 GLs have to be better than him. And the next 2 GLs are probably going to be better here for him. So I'm fine. I found myself a new guild. I'll be moving to a new guild after this light side territory battle.
Now, is this a new guild since the new guild? Is this a second different new guild?
The guild that I've been in for over a year.
Okay, so gotcha.
And it's just my main account. Because I'm not going to be getting Relicate materials from Conquest anymore, I'm moving to a guild that's doing Crankors so that I can start stockpiling Relic 8 materials. Because the next GL is going to need maybe 4 Relic 8s with maybe 2 Relic 9s.
Yeah.
So I need a stockpile of Relic 8 materials so that I can go for the next GL. And if the next GL is unattainable, I'm just going to keep stockpiling until they release a GL where my stockpile of materials is enough to get me that GL. Because there is no point going back. There is literally no point going backwards. So what am I going to do? Go for a Slacker or a Ray? Slacker and a Ray? I mean, Ray.
Here's my last little bit on Lord Vader. Why is his hand bigger than his head?
I don't know. It's not something I noticed.
I'm just looking at the new Galactic Legend Lord Vader under the content update, and his hand is bigger than his head.
All right. Okay.
All right. And here's the last little thing that caused a lot of people to uninstall the game, and then we'll take a break after we talk about this, Neil. They also changed Kenobi, Jedi Master Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
He now dispels stealth from all allies at the start of his turn when he has high ground. When you use the unique May the Force be with you. The ultimate, it's over if at the start of the battle there was a light side UFU, unaligned force user, ally that is also Galactic Republic. Gee, who could that be? Cat? All Jedi allies ignore protection when targeting a Sith enemy, and Sith enemies can't counterattack for the rest of the battle. Here's just really, honestly, what other unaligned force user that's also Galactic Republic? Is there anybody that they could even bring to the game that would fit that as well? Why didn't they just put if Commander Ahsoka Tano was present?
Yeah. They've done it in uniques on characters in the Galactic Republic before. They did it with Ahsoka Tano. They did it with Kenobi. They did it with Padme. They did it with Anakin.
Yeah.
So why not just name them?
So
yeah.
Jedi Jedi Master Kenobi's AI has been updated to better interact with his ability to ignore taunt effects. Goodbye.
No, it was done purely to stop the slacker counter.
Yeah.
With either zombie Daka or zombie not initiate. What's the other one? What's the one that stealths? It's not initiate. Who's the other one?
Yeah.
No.
It's initiate that has the bow, right?
Is it the initiate that stealths?
Yeah,
on
it's
basic?
initiate that has the bow.
Oh, right. I thought it was the other one.
Yeah. And in addition to this, we've made some adjustments to all Galactic Legends AI to improve their interactions against certain matchups. In other words, they're making the nerf bigger.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's still going to be impossible for earlier GLs to beat the late.
Okay, so
GLs.
everybody's yelling at me. It's Night Sister Acolyte.
Yeah, Acolyte. That's the one I was looking for. Acolyte.
I thought it was
Not
the initiate that had the bow and
Initiate's the
arrow.
one with the two swords. Acolyte's the one with the bow and arrow.
Okay. I was wrong. I make mistakes. I'm human. So, I don't know. A lot of people have been upset with all the changes and with the difficulty, if you will, of Conquest.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. It's getting hard to look on the bright side of life when it comes to this. It really is. I'm one to give CG the benefit of the doubt as much as possible. You know that. Our listeners know that. But it's getting tougher. It's getting a lot tougher. I don't know what to say, Neil.
Well, I thought we were going to talk about this after the break.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the break.
We'll talk about Conquest after the break. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's part of the letter that I'm going to read. Let's take that break. In this break, Patreon leaderboard last of this season. Right after these messages, right here on the Escape Podcast. HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Patreon leaderboard, brought to you by the Patreons of the Escape Podcast. You know me, I'm Paul Anthony. This is broadcast on both the Escape Podcast and GA Center, which is a weekly show where we follow some of the biggest streamers around who are community focused, and we show off how they did in their GAC. This is the final GA Center Patreon leaderboard for both this month
And this season of GA Center, next season, we begin anew. All the stats are reset, just like they are for the Patreon leaderboard every single month. If you're not a streamer, but you'd like to compete in GA Center, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/theescapepod and sign up at the Kyber Combatant level or higher and join the leaderboard for next month. Deadline is next Friday, I believe it's the 16th. All right, Big Country Mags, who's leaving us because he has become a streamer, went 2-1 last week, 71-51 in banners, 34 wins, 12 losses, 6 holds. D didn't sign up. Dark Helmet went 2-1, 89-87 with 47 wins, 16 losses, 4 holds. I don't think anybody went 3-0 this week. We'll see. Nope. Dr. Jojo goes 2-1. He says that he fumbled at the 2-yard line. You still did really well, Dr. Jojo. We'll see how you do in the final standings coming up in a moment. 46 wins, 6 losses, 6 holds with 9,096 banners. Nice job, my friend. Force Strong goes 1-2, 64-86, 29 up, 4 down, 4 on the defensive side. Hot Sauce, you know his name. He's not a streamer, though, but he is a Patreon. We thank Hot Sauce for that. Check out HotUtils for some of the best bots. 2-1, 98.05, almost a 10K week. 51 wins, 5 losses, 11 holds. Schnarman forgot to sign up as well. I believe that this is the final time we do see Schnarman. Thank you for all the time that you spent as a Patreon of the Escape Podcast. We really do appreciate you. I went 2-1. As soon as I got a Rhodium, there was no chance for Kyber, and work was kicking my butt. 58-25 in banners, 16 wins. I fought 1 time, 1 loss, 4 holds, but I did show on stream that you could beat Kenobi, or at least before the buff. You could beat Kenobi with Slacker, along with Soldier and GBA. Which it was a lot of fun. Go check out the clips on our channel. All right, final standings. Dr. Jojo, there was no catching him. 11-1 with 37,099 banners on the month, or the week, if you will. Or no, the month. I was right. BCM 9-3. Dark Helmet at 8-4. Hot Sauce and Force Strong at 7-5. Once again, once I hit a Rhodium, I did give up 5-7. Not bad. D goes 4-5. Schnarman, unfortunately, we do say goodbye to him. Thank you again, Schnarman. If you guys would like to be on this board next month on both the Escape Podcast and on GA Center, all you have to do, sign up. Patreon.com/theescapepod. Kyber Combatant level or higher. Talk to me in Discord. We'll get you on the board. Would love to see you. Yeah, you. Next time. All right, that does it for me. Stay tuned for more of the show you're watching right here. Be nice to each other, damn it.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Podcastaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Podcastaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
We want you. Join the GAC Chain Gang today. This is the commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion and the leader of the GAC Chain Gang. I am sending out a call to action for any SWGOH content creators on Twitch who would be willing to broadcast their GAC attack rounds alongside some of our best, including Mr. Jigabachi, Dr. Zeppers, Rico 1982, and the Bounty Honeys. What is the Chain Gang, you ask? We are an amazing group of content creators who are dedicated on streaming the Grand Arena Championship attack rounds on Twitch. The idea is to provide continuous content back-to-back from one streamer to the next and allow the viewers to enjoy more SWGOH content as well as enjoy the variety of streamers that are currently present in the group. If you are interested in joining the Chain Gang, please reach out to myself on Discord at AndyBeads, #7465, or you can send us a message on our Twitter page at ChainGAC. Join us today. We have your back.
The Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back, everybody. Okay, let's get into some stuff, shall we?
All right. So, Neil, we're going to talk about quitting the game.
Okay.
As a very, very dear friend of ours who wants to remain anonymous, but we are going to read we're going to read what they said, their letter. And if anybody ever, let me preface this by saying, if anybody ever wants us to read something or have feedback, our Discord is always open for you guys to stop in and let us know about something. We love hearing from you. So this is what I heard from the anonymous but very dear friend. As a quote-unquote high-level player, I was in a position within one of the best solo guilds in the game. I had already done my tours in the mid-range alliances and just decided that I wanted something a bit more easygoing. With a lot of how my Galaxy of Heroes journey has been, there's a lot of things that have slowed over the years. It took me years to get there, but in the past few months, that progress has either been removed or issues have come to light, which means I no longer have any fun day to day. The game has not been a grind to me, but it has simply been a part of my day for 4+ years. I started my account during the time of the world most impactful meta journeys in the entire game, Jedi Knight Revan. I got my team, battled to the top of arena, and fought daily as a 2 mil GP player to stay in competition. I made it to the top 20 a few times, but reserved my efforts and crystals for other uses besides arena refreshes. When I finally had decent mods on that team, Darth Revan dropped. When I finally got Darth Revan done, Malak dropped. When I finally got Malak done, Gas dropped. When I finally got my meta teams to Gear 12, Relics dropped. Now that I have my characters to 7, Relic 9 is here. I had 2 GLs. I could have had Kenobi and Executor very easily, but once I reached Sector 2 and Conquest 7, I knew exactly where the game was headed, and in one heartbeat, I immediately knew that this was going to be my last day playing the game. I fully expect CG to use Galactic Challenges to test concepts for Conquest. Ships are their current test, and Conquest 10 will end up with the Executor in some sector as a mini-boss or something. I fully expect to see Kenobi and Cat as a boss node, and that team is already insane to fight. I expect Maul to die too outside of a Vader squad, and for crew to be something that pulls from the Supreme Leader Kylo Ren squad, and then you're left with the single best DS Ufu next to Lord Vader in your arena team. Kylo Ren unmasked and Maul will likely be the norm. I expect there to be some sort of pack or season pass for Conquest eventually, where you pay $5 to $10 to get some help in Conquest, especially something to spend money on besides just doing refreshes. I expect Relic 9 to be Relic 8 with more materials and Relic 10 to add a new salvage that we'll need. I expect Conquest 10 or even 13 to not only have some tough teams, but to specifically have Relic 9s as the power curve in Sector 5. This will be more difficult than light side territory battles, and we all know how much fun that event was for over a year. As a player, 3 hours of my day were spent on Squad Arena, even being a part of the Shard chat. I was harassed daily for over a year. and I'm just done with arena mode at this point because of it. I get too frustrated. I've asked CG for help with the issue, but EA help is always useless and does not have anything to say beyond there's nothing we can do, I assure you. When I entered that second sector in Conquest 7, I already knew refreshes would be required. But even with refreshes and a solid account, farmed 4 Conquest. I did not have those teams that CG wanted me to have because I was not wailing on Bad Batch or Relics. As a normal player, it is not feasible. And all my resources going into a new Galactic Legend didn't feel like anything to resolve the issue. I would have had 3 Darkside Galactic Legends, but I needed to get Luke and Kenobi done. I still needed 3 to 4 relics for Executor and Kenobi, and I just know it'll take me 2 to 3 months per 1 relic 8. With arena gems slowing, and with my rewards I use daily to progress simply removed overnight, it would take a long time to get back up to par. This is something where doing 15 to 20 battles in arena was the norm, the minimum. This was typical for anyone who was not running things in our arena shard. Then I had to struggle to get fleet arena help to even get into the top 3. What was a short, fun event in the day was quickly becoming excessively time-consuming. More something like Bastila lead Luke was just broken, annoying, and frustrating because it was deemed fine. It was left in. I expect Relic 9 to break that lead and for CG to finally remove it. It was already cost me a lot of battles, crystals, resources for how long it's been left in. Same with the Jawas originally as a counter to Geos. I didn't agree, but it being seen as working as intended or funny as it's left in. For all the changes and reworks done, we know it was tuned for higher relics, but everything that used to work against Rey, Luke, Kenobi is a lot more difficult. Jedi Knight Luke still takes out Slacker, and Troopers still walk over C if you know what you're doing. It's unfortunate that Capital Games does not view each GL as equal, but pushes us to go farm the new one as a solution for design issues. Luke and Gas got their changes, but we can all agree that Vader has hit a lot harder, further still, and Watt is absolutely useless. There's a lot of issues to discuss with Slacker and C. As a player, it was frustrating daily. Despite everything in the above, this is not why I quit. My main reason for walking is because I know at this point there are things going on where someone with the roster I had is simply being updated out of viability. I feel cheated and let down by my progress. Similar how to getting Gear 12's relics were announced. I was having a lot of issues with the things CG was saying. One, that Kenobi was released following massive changes to critical meta teams that everyone had access to is absolutely fine. But the buffs given to Rey, Luke, Gas were not adapted in any meaningful capacity to Slacker or C. Fixing Fives' AI, fantastic. Fix Gas being able to decimate Slacker was needed, but it did not change anything, and the meta team still operated well. Darkside GLs have a tradition of being extremely poorly sustainable. This dramatically hurts for Conquest specifically. Second, all of these changes dramatically impacted a high portion of meta teams. I lost 50% of my GACs as a result of the changes of how matchmaking works. The hits to my Relic 8 farms or Relic 7 farms from the GLs chosen were pushing me into battles where I was always down a GL and my opponent had 6 months or a year of account progress on top of me. So another mode that was nothing more than a chore. Slacker broke raids. That's enough to say on that one. Number 4, there have been changes mentioned and things done in the back end by CG to fix their match win rates. But all of this is veiled as RNG, or as something where a portion of the player base vehemently states it isn't something that happens. Because I'm spending 20 battles a day fighting the same team over and over, it's very easy to see these changes. To see what's tuned for AI and how the AI is actually programmed, I felt like CG was specifically going out of their way to nerf viable teams with GLs because they wanted to push Lord Vader as a farm for everyone. And it worked because my main project was exactly that right when I quit. And this is in closing. CG has specifically stated the interaction with Cat Kenobi is working as desired, and they have slowly been adjusting things, sometimes daily, to determine how the AI prioritizes characters in certain situations. As counters were found, other ones were updated out of viability. Relic 8s and 9s were viewed as a method to get counters to work, but 501 gas is left undiscussed. Luke versus Slacker and anything to do with C is ignored. It's not an even playing field. We can discuss the issues I feel like need to be addressed, but in that moment in Sector 2, I felt everything hit me clearly and how much of this game was becoming increasingly against my roster. Even if I put the time in, it's not fun. I'm simply trying to catch up, only to be behind weeks later when the new shiny toy is released for everyone else. I farmed my entire roster to 7 stars, meta squads, GLs, meta characters, all to proper gear, but it didn't matter because I didn't spend money on the new toys. Moving the difficulty is one thing. Moving the progress bar gear grind is one thing. But when the developer is going out of the way to design the game so teams lose viability, as a player who focused on that character, team, and goal, I feel they're going out of their way to obliterate my progress. Everything will simply be light side, mainly Jedi focused. I don't expect rosters at a high level to not have 4 to 5 Jedi teams as a standard with 2 GLs and all the support teams required. I'm simply updated out of viability and designed as a player in the game who was no longer allowed to enjoy it as originally intended. Every essence of the fun day to day is gone. Signed, them. Holy crap, Neil.
Yes, that was
long and extremely powerful, and it's been how actually I've been feeling. I am not quitting the game, but I don't care about these GLs. They're no longer a goal for me because of how they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I won't be going for them. I only went for JML because I went for JKL.
Right.
It was as simple as that. I was halfway there. I'm like, yep, sod it. I'm going to go for my Jake Skywalker. Every single individual player's experience of this game is unique to that individual player. So there are no 2 people that quit the game for the exact same reason. Similar, but not the exact same. Unlike some of the issues with Conquest that we currently have at the moment, for which I have total apathy. I'm just, what is it? Ranger raged and had a proper rant. I mean, he proper had a proper rant. I was there. And then he came over to me and I just did this in front of the camera. Right, okay. Because there's no, I'm not angry. I can't get angry about it. But there are cures. I think that whatever you say about Conquest, it's down to each individual person's experience. Now I'm free to play, a day one free to play player, so I've never spent on anything. But I did have periods of hiatus. I've got a GL, I've got a decent roster, and on previous Galactic Conquests, I was hitting the 6. And Conquest 6, I missed the red box by 1 stinking point. So there's me thinking, every single Conquest I'd make a little bit more progress, a little bit more, and then this one hit, and I'm too apathetic to get angry about it. So my points regarding Conquest, in order to cure my apathy, would be reduce the energy that is required for battles back to what it was before. Take the recharge rate back to what it was before. Remove the factional feats from Conquest 7, and if they won't do that, as a compromise, remove them from the sectors to global feats, which puts agency back towards the player. So then a player, they can still put in 14 factions and say you have to do X, Y, and Z with faction A, B, and C, but the player gets to choose when and where they go for those, instead of you will use this faction in this sector at this time against these tier 8s in order to do this. It's like, well, I've got a faction that I could probably do it on sector 8, but it ain't that faction, you know. So and then the fourth thing would be if you're not going to change any of that, at least increase the reward box, and take Relic 8 material down to box 4. I'm not saying maximum. I'm not saying give us an entire Relic 8 piece in reward box
Just
4.
spread it out more.
Spread it out more. Still keep the same Relic 8 rewards for the max box and 6, but throw some in 5 and throw some in 4, because a lot of people ain't going to be hitting 6, and a lot of people ain't going to be hitting 5 anymore, and they're in guilds that ain't doing the Crankle. I'm leaving my guild because of this. The guild that I'm currently in, the guild that my main account currently is in right now, I've already told them I don't want to do it, but in order for me to get Relic 8 material, I need to be in another guild. So I'm leaving the guild and I'm going to a guild that is doing the Crankle, because if I'm not getting Relic 8 materials from Conquest, I need to get them from somewhere else, and the only other location I can get them is Crankle. So I'm swapping one for the other. Which kind of sucks, but yeah. That if I'm going to progress as free to play in the game, I need to be somewhere getting Relic 8 materials, and I ain't getting them from Conquest.
I just think, honestly, we should be able to sell data discs.
Oh, we've thrown lots and lots of suggestions at them, and they've thrown stuff back at us, and none of it works. They always want to charge something for the data cards, and whatever it is they're charging is going to annoy, frustrate, or infuriate a certain section of the player base. Whether it's energy,
I don't care about changing them.
Whether it's energy or the currency, you know. I mean, I think because you get so many data discs and the data disc user interface is so poor, it should be 100% free, because it's horrible. It's like, I've got 4 data discs and it's like, okay, I need a data disc that does this. Which one shall I pick? And I'm looking at 20 data discs and I don't know what any of them do. I've got to select every single one, bring them up on the screen, scroll up, read it. Oh, that's not the one I want. Send it back. Bring in the next one, read it. Oh, that's not the one I want. Send it back. It's frustrating. So what I end up doing, because I've got a boatload of data discs, some of which I need and some of which I don't need, is I try and put a good generic 12 dots in, and then I just stick with it, because I've got 20 data discs down my right hand side and I haven't got a clue what's on any of them. So yeah.
So it's I'm extremely concerned. I'm looking forward to seeing what Taliana gives us with the numbers. If the Division 1 numbers and the Division 2 numbers start dropping, not the overall numbers, because we know people are still coming to the game. But if those numbers start dropping for the larger accounts, that's where I'm going to start worrying that this game is starting to take the wrong turn. It can be saved. I really, truly believe that it can be saved. But it is... I see it going down a dark alley that none of the people who love this game want to see it go down.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me... Here's the thing, right? That like I said, one player's experience, a player's experience differs from one player to the next, to the next, to the next. And I see individual people either posting or chiming in comments saying, oh, I've been able to do it. It's like, well, then let everybody else know how you did it. Because the faster you let everybody else know how easy it was for you, and that gets disseminated to the community, then the apathy goes away, the anger goes away. So if you are someone that's got an average or a moderate account and you're getting the red box or you're getting box 6 and you're saying, yeah, it was super grindy and I was able to do it and it wasn't that expensive and I didn't have to do that many refreshes, explain, okay, so it cost me 600 crystals in refreshes and I did sector 1 like this, sector 2 like this, sector 3 like this, 4 and 5 like that. If you say, no, it wasn't hard, or no, it wasn't super grindy, or it was super grindy, but I made it there, but you don't share with, just share it with the community, because the majority of the community are not in the situation that you may find yourself in. They're just not. And the one thing that is universal amongst the majority of the community is it's not fun. If you are one of those people having fun with this conquest, please tell me, please illuminate me. Tell me exactly what you did, because I would like to have fun with it, because I ain't having fun with it.
We're almost a week through the first week of a 2-week conquest. I'm in sector 4.
Yeah. Waddles, there are tons of guides and videos. I have read the tons of guides and the videos. Skeletrix's videos are great. Skeletrix's videos are brilliant if you've got what Skeletrix has got. If you do not have what the guide is saying you need in order to do it, then it's not a guide. It isn't. At the end of the day, a guide is only as good as your roster. If you don't have I put out a guide earlier on this week for challenges. I don't like challenges, and it was Imperial Troopers, and I literally went in with my 5 Gear 11 Imperial Troopers, and I was able to do it like that. Nobody else was, but I was. So I'm like, okay. So I posted it. I've never done that before, but because I found a very easy, simple team with moderate mods, I was able to smash a Relic 7 Mandalorian team with Gear 11 Imperial Troopers. So I posted it, and then I posted it in several Discords so that it can be done. There being lots and lots of guides, and somebody gave me a guide for Sector 1, boom. I had exactly what that guide for Sector 1 told me it needed, and I was able to smash out Sector 1 in the first 2 days, and it was brilliant. And I got to the end of it, and all I needed to do was the Bounty Hunter feat, and that was it. All of the feats smashed with one team, and I'm like, brilliant. So I get to Sector 2, and I go looking, and none of the guides, I can't match any of the squads that are in those guides, so I was screwed on Sector 2.
Yeah. So, all right. So when we said we were going to talk about quitting the game, we're not quitting the game. We wanted to relay a very, very dear friend's words to us. And if you have something that you want us to talk about, bring it to us. We'd love to have it. On the other side of this break, and story time with Uncle Thad, talking about the inspirations behind Lord Vader's kit, we have SE and we, or Seandwe, or we're going to find out right after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast. HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Padawans, and welcome back to another episode of Storytime with Uncle Thad. Today we're going to talk about the newest member of the Hollow Table lineup, Galactic Legend Lord Vader, or as his friends like to think of him, Glove. Or, if you want to get truly intimate with the man in black, G-Love. That's right, my friends. It's only taken them nearly 6 years, but finally, fallen Anakin has made it to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and the Hollow Table heroes couldn't be happier. But to truly understand the Dark Lord of the Sith, Lord Vader, we have to take a look at where his kit fits in canon. When we meet the young Jedi after the events of the Phantom Menace, he's older, stronger in the Force, but his actions are still ruled by his feelings. Anakin's path crosses with that of Senator Padme Amidala after a series of attacks on her life. Overjoyed to see the girl that he's been thinking about for the last few years, he commits to Padme that he and his master will find her potential assassin and bring them to justice. In a weird plot to lure in the assassin, a plot which involves a bed, a droid, a hormonal teenager watching a young woman sleep, Anakin and Padme accidentally dispatch Padme's would-be assassin. This eventually leads to the discovery of Jango Fett, a clone army, and the two teenagers spending time alone unsupervised. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out a lot could go wrong. Anakin has a series of nightmares that ultimately leads him to committing genocide on a village of the Tatooine's indigenous peoples. Instead of telling Anakin's master about the violence, Padme deals with Anakin's war crimes in other ways. She marries him. Nothing says I love you like slaughtering a bunch of people. Funny enough, this is a lesson that Anakin would remember later on in his life. Flash forward, Anakin and Padme are married. The Clone Wars rage across the galaxy, and the Jedi Knight has taken a Padawan. Their various adventures through the galaxy show Anakin that he can't always protect the ones he loves. He sees scores of clone troopers that he's served with die at the hands of separatist blasters. While there are many successes in the now General Anakin Skywalker, Gas as we like to call him in SWGOH, there are many tragic defeats. While attempting to rescue Evan Peel from the Citadel, Anakin and company lose one of their own, a clone named Echo. He sees other clones he has worked with die, and the overall destruction the war has on the galaxy as a whole. And while all of this is going on, his wife continues to serve in the Galactic Senate. His love for her continues to deepen, but so too does his fear for her life. Anakin protects Padme from plots from bad actors like Newt Gunray, Count Dooku, and infamous bounty hunters like Imbo and Cad Bane. As the Clone Wars begin to wind down, Anakin makes a series of dark choices that lead him down a path he cannot return from. I mean, not that you can really walk back genocide, but, you know, more bad choices. In a duel with Count Dooku on the Separatist leader and former Jedi, at the request of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin decapitates Dooku. Around the same time, Ahsoka Tano is framed as a traitor to the Republic and the Jedi Order. Even though Anakin believes his Padawan could never have committed the crimes she is accused of, it is left to him to bring her to justice. Even though Ahsoka's name is eventually cleared of all wrongdoing. The future Sith Lord is questioning the Jedi and their role in the Republic. Things come to a head on the planet Anaxis. Separatists have taken much of the planet, and something needs to change, or Republic forces are doomed. Enter the Bad Batch. This group of enhanced clones helps Anakin, Rex, Cody, and the rest overtake the Separatist forces and win the day. But what seals the troubled young Jedi's fate takes place in the office of the Supreme Chancellor. Mace Windu, believing that Palpatine is too powerful to be left alive, attempts to take the Sith's life. Confused, afraid, Anakin disarms the Jedi Master. Actually, he just dishands him. But it is Anakin's action that allow Palpatine to throw Mace out of the window. And with that, Anakin has taken the last steps into the darkness. Palpatine christens the fallen Jedi Lord Vader, and the rest is history. Now let's take a look at the Dark Lord's kit and see just how well Capital Games put together one of the most complicated characters in all of Star Wars. Let's start with his basic ability. This ability gains power from two new mechanics added to the game, Underestimated and Ashes of the New Republic. What's cool about Underestimated is that the more people underestimated Anakin, the more powerful he became. The same is true about the Ashes of the Republic. When the Republic was burning, Lord Vader was really in the height of his bodily power. He didn't need mechanical parts to keep himself alive or to go to the bathroom. Dark Harbinger, I think, is this great ability that shows Anakin not really in the height of Lord Vader. I think they took this from his attack on the Tusken. This ability inflicts buff immunity and healing immunity, which, makes sense because I have a hard time believing that those Tuskens were going to get up after they met Anakin. Now, Unshackled Emotions, I absolutely love this ability. It is perfectly encapsulates what happens when a young person who spent a lifetime bottling up their emotions finally lets loose. His leadership ability, I'm not really going to talk about in depth because I don't have an advanced degree, but as I'm looking at this, I just have to point out there really are no dark side unaligned force users that Lord Vader would have worked with in the time. So does anyone else think the Inquisitors are coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? That can't be just me. Are we about to get a bunch of bad A brothers and sisters in this game? I think so. Now, Twisted Prophecy. This is one of his first unique abilities. What I love so much about this ability is that it really highlights the fate train that was Anakin Skywalker, right? The more people tried to get in the way of fate, to stop Anakin from becoming what he was meant to become, the faster it became, right? Here we see Anakin, Lord Vader, not being able to have turn meter reduction, right? He can't be slowed. In fact, the more people try to slow him down, the faster he becomes. And then finally, this last unique ability, Galactic Legend, really highlights Lord Vader's status as a boogeyman, more so than an actual real person. People didn't believe that he existed. The normal day-to-day people didn't. So when they actually went up against him, they were too scared to do really any damage. Especially those younglings in the Jedi Temple. They didn't know what to expect. Well, that's it for me this week. I'll let you guys talk about Lord Vader's ultimate ability for yourselves. Let me know what you guys think and where you think it came from. Stay tuned next week for more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids. Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Podcastaways want you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Podcastaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Paul, why don't you introduce our guest for this week's incoming transmission?
Absolutely. I'm excited to do so. Guys, one of the best midday streamers of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is our guest this week. He hails from the mountains, and it's either Seandwe or Shaw SE and we. We're going to figure that out during the interview here. He is also a big AFOL, and I'm not insulting him if you don't know what AFOL is. It's an adult fan of Lego. We'll talk about that also in a second. But it is an absolute pleasure to have this next guest. Sean, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Quite welcome. So
let's start off with the normal questions. For those who haven't heard of you before, that this is their first exposure. What account, how long have you been playing? What size account do you bring to the table? What division, also what division are you in Grand Arena Championships? Because you also stream that. And what is your aquatic spending status?
Okay, so I'm a day one player. November 24th, 2015. So I actually looked up stuff so that way, because I looked at some of your other interviews to make sure where you went. So I have spent a total in the almost 6 years now, right? $293. And 150 of that was for the new ship to get it to 7 stars. And then 95 of that, though, was with the Google opinion rewards. So technically, I've only spent out of my own money $200 in 6 years. So I don't know if that's I don't think that's a whale, but maybe
not a whale, not even a dolphin.
Small fish in a big pond.
Small fish. I wouldn't put him on plankton level. I would definitely have to say minnow.
Tadpole.
Something like that.
Tadpole's even a little bit less.
No, because if you spend that couple of hundred over 6 years, it's tadpole status.
So we'll start over from here. If you're listening to the audio version, we had a connection issue. We're back. We were debating if he's a sardine, a minnow,
a tadpole.
Or a tadpole. But I then asked what roster size, and you said
7.92.
7.92. So that's Division 1.
Yeah. I just got into Division 1 halfway through 3v3. So starting in 5v5, it'll be the first time in Division 1 for me. So getting the new ship inflated my roster quite heavily. So
I'm 7.5. I'll check here in just a moment. So, and I've definitely spent more than what you have. Are you doing really well in Arena? How many GLs do you have?
So I have 4 of them. I don't have C, and I'm going for Lord Vader now. And the goal is to get him maybe around Christmas. Is kind of what I think.
Okay.
Because the Bad Batch or the slow grind. So
I was way off. I'm 7.2. The last of the Bad Batch. I actually have all the Bad Batch currently. Currently at 7, except for Omega. So I'm actually just gearing them now, but I'm not gearing them for Lord Vader. I'm gearing them because I want to. I want to have a Bad Batch team that throws people off.
Yeah, I need a new counter that's reliable against Grievous. I rely on Night Sisters, and if you watch my streams, I throw those all the time. So it's a hit and miss.
So this is gonna kind of transition to Neil's part, where he's gonna start talking a little strategy with you. You do stream every single GAC.
I do, yeah. I have been for about 6 months now, something like that. Maybe since January. How many months is that? I don't know. 9 months. 9 months. So
9 months. So questions, Neil? Do you have any questions on his GAC streaming preferences?
You stream every GAC?
Yes.
And you have been for the last 6 months? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So can you get a report in every week?
What do you mean a report?
Could you write a report on how you performed and what occurred during your GAC on a weekly basis?
I'm definitely not one of those perfect people by any means. I'm more the person that if you want to watch me, it's see how not to do things. Probably would be.
That's not what he's asking.
What do you mean a report in? I'm confused.
He just wants to know if you could tell us how you did.
Round 1,
we don't have
I
to
did this, and you type it out. Round 2, I did this, and you type it out. Round 3, I did this, and you type it out.
Well, I can barely remember what I ate for breakfast the day before, but
and do you play nice with other content creators?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have no problem with anyone else.
I'll hit you up about covering you on GA Center in season 4 then.
Okay.
I'll DM you about it.
Let's just say I'm like, I think the last 2 seasons is the first time I've kept track of my wins and losses, because my viewers have been wanting, to know how I do. And I think I'm like 8-5.
Yeah, we kind of already we do that with GA Center. We keep track of all of the content creators that we cover on the show by posting their stats on a weekly basis. So if your viewers miss you, they can watch the show and know exactly how you did.
How bad I did.
They used to cover me, okay, Sean?
On a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, and how you match up against other Division 1 content creators that also do GAC.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
There we go. So a live recruitment for GA Center just happened on the Escape Podcast, which, by the way, if you are watching the Escape Podcast live, there will be the season finale of GA Center coming up on the channel after the show ends. So stay tuned for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to talk about your streaming habit here. On Monday, you did something that was a little out of the ordinary, but gave me a chuckle. You boycotted Conquest.
I actually boycotted Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I didn't stream it at all on Monday, so I took a break and just didn't do it on stream. Normally I stream for 6 hours, and most of that's Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but I took a break because Conquest, it's just not fun. It's not fun. They kind of ruined one of the better parts of the game, in my opinion. So it's sad.
What did you do instead?
I played Apex Legends and did really bad at that as well. So at least I was consistent.
If somebody wants to know, the kind of stuff that you like to do, what does a typical stream for you entail?
Well, I have my main account, and then I have like a baby account that I started, I'm really bad with time, but maybe like 4+ years ago, because I had a friend who I tried to get in on the game, and he wanted to play. And so I wanted to be in the same kind of like guild as him. I couldn't take my main guild at the time and say, oh, let's go into a baby guildish thing, right? So I started one up and we played together for about 3 or 4 months, something like that. And then I let it sit dormant for years and years. And then when I started streaming, I was like, oh, this might give me more things to do, right? Instead of just doing my main account, because that you only had so much stuff to do. I was like, oh, I can also maybe try to get to level 85 and do GAC on that. And when I logged back in 3.5 years later, I realized I was at level 84. So I was able to get there very quickly, just a few days later. So,
and what division did that? How long ago was that that you started restreaming it?
That I started doing, I think, in about March.
You jumped up a division, then you got slammed back down right after the changes.
Well, on the main one.
Was this post new GAC change?
Oh, I was in Division 1 originally with my main account, and then I got knocked down to Division 2
on the small fish.
But the small one, I think I was in the bottom division. I think I was in the whatever the bottom one was is what it started. So it's now like 1.5 million, somewhere around there. So I inflate my rosters and for TB and for team stuff. So territory battles are always my favorite thing. So that's why my main is so big with only 4 GLs, because I inflate everything. And of course, then they brought the whole like relic scavenger guy, and I had brought most of the characters up too far to be able to like make some of those pieces. So they need to fix that at some point.
I know. I did the same thing. I probably have. That's probably why I was able to get the Executor as easy as I did, because I had those pieces ready. So
yeah,
I've asked a lot. I've asked a bunch of questions. What do you got for Sean?
So what other games you play? You mentioned Apex Legends.
That's the main one I'll do for like an hour or so to buy time, either between arena climbs or whatever. So,
any other Star Wars games?
This is kind of the main one. There's nothing. No other ones are really.
You're going to give Hunters a crack when that finally comes out.
That's the one.
It's a mobile game, Switch, though, right?
Mm-hmm. It's the one. It's the new one that's getting done by Zynga.
Probably not. I don't know.
I have to wait and see.
So I've noticed all the Lego behind you, but that big map behind you, what exactly is that?
Basically, it's a map of the world, and I guess I can. Is this thing long enough? Whoop. On my channel, you get the channel points, and you can turn them in to do all fun things. Well, on my channel, after you save up enough points, I think it's like 5,000 points or something, I let the viewers basically cash them in and get their name on the map to let me know where they're from, since I have a lot of international people. So it's really fun to see all the people from all over the place.
No, I quite like that idea. I have a map of Europe. Had a map of Europe in my other studio. And I could definitely see myself having some fun with that with my fellow European viewers for sure. But probably wouldn't write on it. I'd probably just stick a pin on it and write something on. You can get those circular ones with a little bit of paper on it. And I could put like their initials or something on it and stick it in. But yeah, I have no idea if my new studio is going to actually physically have the space to be able to put a map of Europe behind me. So it's nice having all of that. It's nice having space behind you, isn't it?
Yeah, and I kept having, this is like the third thing I tried. I had to get a bigger and bigger because sometimes there is such a small spot, and I'd have like 5 viewers from one little country, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to fit, their names in there. I need to have it big enough so that you can actually get people's name on there. So
yeah. Or you could like don't know, write it on a ribbon and wrap the ribbon around the pin.
Yeah.
But it, depending on how many pins you got stuck in your map, you wouldn't be able to see. If you've got like a bunch of pins and the ribbons are just completely, people will, one day in the not too distant future, people will be like, what's that wall of ribbons behind you? Because people won't recognize it as a map of the world anymore. They won't realize, oh, it's an atlas.
So, of course, there's always the Mitch Hedberg joke of, I wanted to get a map and put a pin in every single place that I've been, but first I'd have to travel to all four corners of the map first.
Nice.
All right. So, Sean, how do people find you on Twitch? I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure, and unfortunately our time's running out, but I want people to be able to know where to go to find you. So pitch your channel as far as where they can find you.
It's just Seandwe on the Twitch. So as we were joking about, SE and we is a way to remember it. Yeah, or people come in and go C and we because there's the A and D in the middle. So C and we. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So you got anything fun coming up next week?
Me?
Yeah. Like what are you doing on the channel this weekend?
I take the weekends off. So I just do Monday through Friday, and I start at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and generally go to about 3 p.m. I'm a stay-at-home dad, and the kid's back at school, so it's kind of...
So you've got a lot of time, and do you need as much coffee anymore? Because I know you love your coffee.
Well, I do have generally like 1 cup of coffee, and then I do tea. So I have the decaffeinated peach tea right now. Normally I do caffeinated green tea during the stream, but
no, I don't do tea, and I'm from England, which is just really strange. Don't do tea.
All right. Well, Sean, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Guys, you really need to check him out. He is a very, very fun watch, especially, he's your workday watch. He really, truly is the perfect workday watch. Check him out. SE and we, or Seandwe on Twitch. We're going to take a break. The latest episode of Helly and the Noob. Soon there's going to be a new one. We're excited for that. But coming up after this break, Patreon's Choice on the Bridge. We'll see after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
A few hours have passed since we last encountered our intrepid interlopers. Cartoon Hellenix and his droid companion N00B decided to take a short detour on their trip from the Outer Rim world Rune to the Ecumenopolis, Coruscant, pit-stopping on the industrial planet Corellia. Corellia is the adoptive homeworld of the vile Salty Spartan, and, coincidentally, the home of the galaxy's best space gyros, as voted by a bunch of Gamorrean food snobs on Insta Hologram. We pick up our short story as the two fugitives walk back to their ship, which is incidentally parked in a yellow zone.
Can we please hurry up?
Meatbag.
Relax, newbie. We're going.
We can't keep stalling, Hellenix. My scans of the
HoloNet
indicate that DC-14 has sent even more agents after us.
Noob.
Yes, Hellenix?
I said relax, droid. What are you so worried about?
I don't know, Hellenix. Maybe it was that
bounty hunter
we ran into back at the BZ Grill. As I just told you 5 minutes ago, if I'm scanning the
HoloNet,
and if I know we are now listed as the galaxy's most wanted criminals, then
other people
will also know this and come after us in hopes of being paid some kind of massive reward.
And like I told you, newbie, I could not fly past my homeworld without making a quick pit stop for some space grub. Everybody knows Helly can't resist a good space gyro. You know, one with everything on it. With the onions and the tomatoes and the salt and the pepper and the oregano and tons of tzatziki sauce. Ooh, and the space fries wrapped into the gyro itself. It's literally irresistible to all carbon-based life forms who also happen to have taste buds.
Hellenix.
Yes, noob.
Isn't it pronounced space?
Gyros?
Are you seriously trying to correct how I pronounce Greek words, newbie? Isso está calashuvre.
You do realize most of our audience
doesn't speak Greek.
Our audience is smart, noob. They'll get the gist of my insult.
Our audience is indeed smart, and Hey!
Wait a second.
Why did you just insult me in Greek, Hellenix? I'm always at my best. It's part of my programming.
Relax, newbie. I'm just jabbing at you. You know what I said wasn't all that insulting. Sheesh.
Spartan.
Hey, Shaman, my man.
We don't
have time
for this, Hellenix. We can't make another pit stop. We simply
must keep moving.
Chill, newbie. The victorious Viking is my guy. I don't care who's after us. I'm stopping to say hello to my friend. What's up, you old space wizard?
Following the will of the Force as always. I felt a tremor in the aether, and it guided me here, where now I see you. The mystical realm predicted our encounter.
Ooh, this sounds intriguing. Tell us more.
Oh, jeez.
At dawn, I was struck with a vision. In my vision, I was leading a ragtag group of warriors through the jungles of Felucia. One of them was a super hot blue-skinned Twilight troll. So anyway, we arrived at a clearing in the jungle, and there, in front of us, shone a brilliant beam of light. It was so bright, I was forced to turn my head and shield my eyes. I looked back at the party I was leading, and to my shock, the brave warriors were all gone. In their place was a battle-damaged, obviously scared, kind of pathetic, seemingly short-circuiting, teeny, little PK series droid, kneeling down as if suffering from mechanical failure. I sensed his sadness. I felt its pain. I returned my gaze to the beam of light, and as I did, it was extinguished. And in its place, I saw an ancient Jedi temple, now corrupted, and in disrepair. And there, at its entryway, stood a lone, small, sad little mouse, staring at me, as if I stole its cheese.
And then what happened?
I don't know. The vision ended.
Oh.
But now, I see you, Hellenix of you all, accompanied by that same droid, here, on Corellia. This is the droid I was looking for.
Coincidence?
No, Spartan. Providence.
Well, you know what that means.
I have a
bad feeling
about this.
Stop being so pessimistic, droid. I think our duo should become a trio. What do you say, Shaman, my man? Wanna join our ragtag group of warriors? We could always use a wise old sage to lead us on our journey. We're headed to the capital on Coruscant.
Lennox?
Jeez, noob, what do you want?
Don't you think it's a bad idea to have a guy who's wearing a helmet with
Viking horns
on it leading us to
the galactic capital?
I can't see any rational being having any objections with this idea, newbie. Besides, I said it during the last episode. I intend to piss everyone off over the course of the next few months. Now shut your trap and let's get on with the skit. Okay?
There he is. Time to attack him.
Noob, we're under attack!
Wait, why does everything suddenly look like a SWGOH PvP battle? We've been attacked plenty times before, and
not once
has this type of overlay appeared.
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, newbie.
I know.
Don't think about it.
Alright, boys, let's get this battle started. Okay, looks like this is going to be a turn-based system with each of us having a basic move, a special move, and a summoning move, I guess.
But SWGOH doesn't have any summoning moves, Lennox.
Stop over-analyzing the episode, newbie, and start reading these Rock Eyes kits. There may be something important hidden in there. Check their speeds versus ours. Who's going first?
I go first. Pebble throw 1.
Ow!
I'm next. Pebble throw 2.
Hey! Do you guys mind? Sheesh.
Are you injured, Spartan?
Oh, no, I'm fine. Those two pebbles literally took like 1 hit point each off my health and protection. I'm fine, but getting beamed in the head like that was annoying as hell. Anyway, newbie, looks like you're up next.
I will first read the descriptions for all my moves before attempting to use them.
No time to read, noob. Just do a basic.
All right, I guess.
Here goes nothing.
Stealth? That's your basic move? You run and hide. It figures. Whatever. All right, it's my turn. And shameless self-promotion.
And you were complaining about my basic, Lennox? Well, your basic is literally just you
saying your catchphrase.
At least I actually did something. All you ever do is talk.
Just talk? Why, I oughta.
Rest easy, comrades. I know all my moves. I actually put in the effort, unlike a certain unnamed Laconian gamer. You see, I play all 5 of my daily squad arena battles. I participate in all my guilds' TWs, and I actually try during my GACs. On my basic, I throw my hammer.
Whoa, cool! Is that real life Mjolnir?
No, young one. This is Maudlin. But yeah, it works pretty much the same as Thor's mallet.
Oh, great. Now why didn't that cause any damage?
Get good, losers.
Jeez, would you two morons just stop throwing tiny little pebbles at my dome?
Well, folks, looks like we've run out of time for this episode of the poorly animated pseudo-cartoon, Hellion the Noob. Tune in next time to see if the lethargic Laconian can muster up an attack other than his basic. Let's face it, folks, saying shameless self-promotion has never really hurt anyone, not even their feelings. Will the noob be able to come up with an idea better than going into stealth? Will the victorious Viking shaman find a way to use his hammer that actually causes some damage? Find out if the salty Spartan has in him what it takes to beat these 2 rock creatures. I know we're all on the edge of our seat, waiting to find out. Who am I kidding? I'm not. If you want the answer to these questions, and many more, make sure to stay tuned to the Escape Pod cast every Friday night, so you don't miss another episode of Hellion the Noob.
The Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. It's our fourth and final segment.
Patreon's choice.
There we are.
Yes, if you have channel points, you're more than encouraged to redeem them with a question for us to ask in the fourth segment. If you're a Patreon and most of them have already put some Patreon's choice questions in there, and we're going to go through those in just a moment. I do want to acknowledge Geek Girl cheering 200 bits, and JJ Manners threw 2 shiny nickels at us while we were doing the show, Neil, during the interview. So thank you, JJ Manners, for those.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Let's get to them. Did you end up coming up with that 5 historical or fictional figures?
Yeah. I wrote it down in my notebook.
So what do you got for that? It's the prompt was, let me pull it up here. Pick 5 people, whether they be real or fictional, throughout all time and space to come together and solve a problem. Who would it be and what's the problem? You can only pick one person from each decade if it's a real person, or fandom if it's fictional. So what did you end up with, Neil?
Okay, so I've got Colonel Hannibal Smith for the plan. I've got Einstein, who's the brains. I've got Lara Croft for the money and the eye candy. I've got the Hulk, who's the brawn, and then I've got Keanu Reeves for everything else. And it's
Neil Keanu Reeves, or just overall Keanu Reeves?
Just Keanu Reeves. Don't need to say anything else. It's just Keanu Reeves for everything else. And it was, how do you solve a problem like Maria? So those were my 5, and the problem was, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
Okay, so for me, it was Jeff Bezos for the money. It was Tony Stark for the mind, and for Braun, I chose Worf from Star Trek. And then I also had the debonair. I chose James Bond. Any era James Bond for the tactics. And then I actually did go the everywhere route, the everything else route, and I chose Kevin Bacon.
Okay, Kevin Bacon for everything
because
else.
And the problem that was needing to be solved was the how to create world peace. So, we take out the people with the tech from Tony Stark and James Bond. So that's how we create world peace, is all those people. All right. Geek Girl also gave us this week a easier question. If you were designing the ultimate video game, what would be the style? What would be the genre, and which characters would you have in it that currently exist? So the ultimate video game for me would be an adventure game. What a lot of people like to call, I guess now they call them roguelike, to where all the dungeons are different. So think Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
So procedurally generated random dungeons where you're gathering things. Characters that are already out. I mean, would this then become a Smash Brothers like situation where you're in the dungeon? I guess I would take Master Chief from Halo. I would take the Peely from Fortnite, and we'll just put 3 characters in the game. Raz from Psychonauts, because I was recently on a huge Psychonauts 2 kick. It was a great game, mind you. And what was the question? What would the style and genre? Roguelike. So there you go. What about yours, Neil?
I would probably go for an RPG game. So yeah, I'd go RPG. I would go science fiction genre.
So far we're talking Mass Effect.
No, More old school Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 1, 2, or 3. More in that kind of style. Obviously, science fiction genre. And I would, I'm curious. I would go with, let's see, characters that already exist. I could go. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
What's the game that comes to mind first for you?
Something animated. Characters from an animated universe would be cool. You know what would work that hasn't been done before? The characters from He-Man and She-Ra. That could work.
Old school He-Man and She-Ra characters.
Yeah, old school He-Man and She-Ra characters.
How would they fit into space, though? That's my question.
Science fiction, because it's still science fiction.
Okay.
I didn't say space. I said science fiction. It would still, you'd be on you'd be on a world on Eternia, and you'd have to, do something there, and you would get various different characters from the He-Man and from the She-Ra universe to join your merry band as you go through the levels and the stages and solve puzzles and shit.
All right. Zaz's question: if you had access to the VR world depicted in the film and book Ready Player One, have you read it or seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you spend your time doing in the virtual world of Ready Player One? I'd do a live action game of tag in the Pac-Man world.
I don't know. None of the genres portrayed in the movie are games that I'm particularly interested in playing over and over and over again.
The book though did have more.
I would quite happily go in and sit down and play a game of chess against someone though.
Anywhere in the world, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's best. Chess. I agree that chess is best in person.
Nice, somewhere nice and outside. You can create somewhere, find somewhere nice. Just sit outside. Chess, yeah.
So, our good friend Dickie Darkside always loves to do the who wins questions. So, you ready for these?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who gets a turn first, Lord Vader or Usain Bolt?
Vader.
I don't know. Usain is pretty fast. If it's from a standstill, I think Usain Bolt gets the turn first. Who leads you into battle? And you probably, I don't know. Do you know who Tom Brady is, Neil?
Yes.
Okay. Tom Brady or Mon Mothma?
Probably Mon Mothma.
Yeah, I think Mon Mothma leads me into battle too. All right. No holds barred grudge match. Gamorrean Guard versus Brock Lesnar.
Gamorrean Guard.
Oh, come on.
Gamorrean Guard's going to be so much stronger than Brock Lesnar.
I don't know. Lesnar's pretty buff. All right. Who wore it better? Professor Snape or Kylo Ren?
Oh, Snape every time.
We have to go with Alan Rickman. I was worried you were going to say Kylo Ren.
Why would I say Kylo Ren when Alan Rickman's an option? You could pick any Alan Rickman character against anybody else, and I'm always going to go Alan Rickman.
All right. Who wins in a negotiation, Watto or Rudy Giuliani?
Sorry, who?
Watto or Rudy Giuliani?
Who's Watto?
Watto from episode 1.
Oh, right.
The owner of slave boy Anakin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll go with definitely Giuliani.
Giuliani. I don't know. Giuliani's Republic credits would not work there.
I still think
I got to go with Watto on this one. All right. And finally, Dickie Darkside wants to know who would be the vocalist for the Cantina Band? The modal nodes.
Oh, what? He's not giving us two options then?
No two options in this situation.
Vocalist for the Cantina Band.
Yeah. So Dan Figrin, he's the band leader. He's not a vocalist. Who should be the vocalist?
I'm trying to think.
I'll tell you who it should be.
Who could
Neil.
sing to that music?
It should be the singer from Fifth Element. The opera singer. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Actually, I would put the mariachi band from Dusk Till Dawn in there for vocals and some string.
All right. JJ Manners asks, if you could choose one superpower, what would it be? You've answered this before. Is it still what you've answered before?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever it is. I can't remember what I said.
Okay, I think you had said invisibility.
I don't think I said invisibility. I think you said invisibility. I think I said either flight or teleportation.
Okay, teleportation is actually my choice in this situation. What is the best 80s movie and the best cheesy 80s movie? The best good 80s movie and the best cheesy 80s movie. Best good 80s movie for me is going to have to be Ghostbusters.
Then I'll go with Die Hard.
Okay. And then the best cheesy 80s movie, you said Weird Science?
No, it'd be Earth Girls Are Easy.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
No, A Fish Called Wanda.
Okay. Is Breakfast Club cheesy?
No.
No?
How dare you? John Hughes is a god.
But
he does not do cheese. John Hughes does not do cheese. Ever.
All right. Fine. Then I'm going to say Army of Darkness.
Yeah, that's allowed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Sam Raimi
when
is good cheese.
When personal flying vehicles become available, what do you think the most common SW model? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there, JJ Manners. When personal flying vehicles become available, what do you think will be the most common Star Wars model? I guess. What will they be modeled after?
Well, I would go with the space wagon that the Griswolds were flying in Blue Harvest.
I'm going to have to say that I would love a TIE fighter. I like compact cars, so a TIE fighter flying car would be.
But that's like a Porsche without the second seat. You want to fit people in it. You want to be able to do passengers. Single cockpit. It's not really.
I don't
good
want
enough.
passengers. I like driving alone.
Then you'll have to, then you won't be able to take friends with you. So yeah, I'd want to be able to fit a carload of people in my flying vehicle.
All right. And Nabokov fan says, what is your pick for the next galactic legend?
Thrawn. Coming in 2022.
All right. I am going to have to go. I'll pick somebody light side. I'm going to say the next galactic legend. I mean, we can't do Jedi Knight Luke anymore. So, I don't know. Let's say that they're going to go. I'm going to say season 3. Would the new Boba Fett?
It's going to be a legendary in the new year. He's not going to be a GL. He'll be a legendary after the Book of Boba. Just like they did Bam with Mando characters. for the Mandalorian show.
You know what? They put Omega in the game, so why not say Grogu? There we go. All right. So that is going to do it for us this week. I am going to let you guys know that I have been invited to the podcast Tactical Advantage that will be airing next week, or not next week. They'll be airing tomorrow. Tactical Advantage on YouTube. I put the link in the chat. It's a podcast that has Trevor Boy Gaming. It also has SWGOH Ringer, Trouble on Demand, Eldor. They run this podcast. I look forward to talking with them. That will be tomorrow night on their YouTube channel at 8:00 Eastern. So make sure to check that out. I'll be doing that. This weekend, I will be also doing, we'll hopefully be finishing Lego Harry Potter on Vault 37 Studios. But Neil, you have something special that's going to be coming up in Why We're Not Going to Raid today on this very channel. People should be sticking around for what?
Yeah, stick around for the final episode of Season 3 of GA Center. Me and Ranger will be going through the results and the final tables for Season 3 before we come to a close and start getting ready for the inevitable 5v5 that everybody was originally looking forward to, but not so much anymore.
That's extremely true. Extremely true. You speak the truth, my friend. And then we will have regular GAC next week that you'll be streaming, right?
Oh yeah. I'll still be doing GAC. Yeah, absolutely.
So with 5v5 coming next week, make sure that you're tuning into Nev's streams. I may pop on for a stream or two on the Escape Podcast channel as well. So make sure you check it out, twitch.tv/Escape Podcast. If you're watching this live, you already are here. If not, go like us. So, all right. Any final words before we wrap it up today, Neil?
Good to go, mate. Good to go.
All right, guys, stick around. GA Center coming up. It'll probably be about 10-15 minutes while we, shuffle people in and out and get the podcast downloaded so we can put it up on the show. So, all right. That being said, be nice to each other, damn it. And Neil.
Yes.
Push the button.
You got it, mate. Tits off for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6? What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.